Hello everybody, Dr. Bill Crawford here, psychologist, speaker, author of 4 books, host of 2 PBS specials. Here today to talk about the topic of anxiety. Very prevalent in our world today, and I think used as a valuable signal can be helpful in our lives. Unfortunately, most of us don't know how to do that. The quote that I'm using is from Seth Godin's book, The Icarus Deception, which I've just finished and love and recommend, by the way. And he talks about anxiety. He says, anxiety is experiencing failure in advance. Worry is not preparation. You can't access your best by fearing the worst. See, I think if we look at anxiety, stress, frustration, resentment, anger, even depression as a valuable signal, then we are using it in a way that is helpful to us, in a way that lets us know something needs to change. But here's what most people do. They get the signal, but it hasn't gotten bad enough. And they wait until the anxiety is so bad that now the fear of not changing becomes greater than the fear of changing. And people make decisions in their life because the anxiety has just gotten so great. I just can't take it anymore. Now, fair to say that's why some people stop drugs, stop drinking, come to a counselor. And when that's a signal to reach out and get some help, that's a good use of anxiety, stress, and frustration. But then to try to use it as the energy for creating the life we want, the energy for bringing out our best, that will never work. The reason, of course, for those of you who follow my life from the top of the mind's philosophy, is that anxiety, fear, stress, frustration, depression, anger, all engage that lower 20% of the brain. A great thing in a fight or flight situation, but given that 99.9% of our experiences in life are not true fight or flight in nature, then trying to make decisions from that part of the brain, or solve problems from that part of the brain, or address what needs to be addressed from that lower 20% of the brain doesn't work. It's limiting, it's limited. Fight or flight is all we can do. What we want to do is use anxiety as a signal and then access this upper 80% of the brain, the neocortex, or what I call the top of the mind. Here we have access to our best interpersonal skills, problem-solving skills, clarity, confidence, creativity, compassion, the ability to nurture ourselves and others. Now, easier said than done, right? And of course, as a psychologist and a counselor, I help people do that. As a seminar leader, I go and give talks on that and help organizations bring that to life within their organization. There are, however, 4 questions that I want to give to you today so that you will have a tool to use from this point forward. I call them the 4 criteria, and they are what I call neocortex, or top-of-the-mind questions, because they can only be answered by the upper 80% of the brain. I like to be able to use these questions anytime I want to access my best. The first question is, am I experiencing the stress, anxiety, frustration, depression, anger, resentment, whatever, on purpose? Have I decided to do this, or did I just find myself feeling that? Most people would say, no, I have not decided to do this. Second question is a good old Dr. Phil question. How's it working for me? Is this helping me create the life I want? Most people say, no, those do not help. The third question I really like, is it making the statement I want to make about who I am? Do I really want to define myself as an anxious, frustrated, stressed, angry, depressed person? Most people would say no. And the fourth question I think is the most powerful. Would I recommend this thought, emotion, or action to someone I love? That particular question to me bottom lines everything, because I have yet to meet anyone that would recommend someone they love be anxious, frustrated, depressed, angry, or resentful. So if we can ask ourselves these questions, we can then say, no, I do not want to feel this way. This is not going to help me access my best. And then we can flip to, okay, what if I was dealing with this situation deliberately, on purpose, in a way that I think would be more effective, in a way that does make the statement I want to make about who I am, and in a way I would teach to someone I love? What would that look like? How would I be thinking differently, behaving differently? What would my body language be like? What would my tone of voice be like? How would I be engaging life right here, right now? When we can get really clear about that, I think we can begin to move into right here, right now, and do what needs to be done. So we're not really worrying about the future and trying to do everything at once. We're asking ourselves, what can I do now in a way that makes the statement I want to make about who I am and in a way I would teach to someone I love? If you found this valuable, I do have a book on this called Life from the Top of the Mind. I do go out and give presentations on this concept and this topic. So if you're interested in the book or the presentation, you can go to my website, Ph.D.com. Here you will see, you can go to my store, see the books, all the products, and if you want to contact me, you can also just hit the contact button. You can also put your first name and your email address on that first page, and you'll receive 4 free videos on this new concept of life from the top of the mind, how the brain actually processes information, and how we can be influential in that process in order to bring our best to life. I hope you've enjoyed this. I know everybody's busy, so I try to keep these videos short. Here's to you, bringing more clarity, confidence, and creativity to everything you do. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.